If you're listening to this at night, maybe turn a light on, and whatever you do, don't pause in the middle. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight's story is a horror thriller set deep in a forest where something is very wrong with the land itself. If you enjoy atmospheric, slow-burn horror stories that stick with you long after they're over, you're in the right place. Now, settle in and try not to listen too closely to the silence between the sounds. The Whisperwood Line.
The first report came in on a Tuesday. Not the kind of report that gets attention at first. No blood, no crime, no obvious emergency. Just a missing hiker and a broken trail marker. But the ranger who logged it added a note in the system that he wasn't supposed to write. Trail marker points the wrong direction every time we fix it. That was deleted an hour later. But the hiker wasn't found. So they sent someone else. That's how I got involved. My name is Frank Mercer. I worked search and rescue in the Inland Forestry District. Mostly missing hikers, lost hunters, the occasional drunk who thought the wilderness was a shortcut home. Whisperwood National Reserve wasn't supposed to be dangerous. But nobody really liked going in there twice. The first thing I noticed when I arrived at Whisperwood Station was the quiet. Not normal quiet. The kind that feels deliberate. Even the birds were missing. Ranger Holt met me outside the station office. He looked like someone who hadn't slept properly in weeks. "You're Mercer?" he asked. "That's me." He nodded once. Too fast, like he didn't want to be here either. "We've got a missing hiker, maybe more." "More?" He hesitated. Then he said, "People keep reporting the same trail. Different names, different times, same place." I waited. He added, "And they don't always come back. As themselves." That last part he said quietly, like he regretted it immediately. They gave me a map. At least, it looked like a map. But when I unfolded it in my hands, something felt off. The lines didn't quite stay still. The ink seemed to shift when I wasn't looking directly at it. "That's just old print bleed," Holt said quickly when he saw my expression. But he didn't sound convinced. The missing hiker's last known location was a trail called Whisperwood Line 6. It looped deeper into the reserve than any marked path should reasonably go. And according to the logs, it didn't end where it was supposed to. It ended wherever people stopped remembering it. I went in alone. Standard protocol said I shouldn't, but nobody argued when I asked. That was the second strange thing. Nobody tried to stop me. The trail started normal enough. Packed earth, scattered pine needles, sunlight filtering through tall trees like broken glass. Then I noticed the first marker. A wooden post. Line 6. I checked my compass. It pointed behind me. I turned around. The forest behind me looked unfamiliar. Not different. Not changed. Just wrong in a way I couldn't explain. Like someone had swapped it out while I wasn't paying attention. After about an hour, I found the first personal item. A backpack. Fresh, not weathered. Like it had been dropped minutes ago. Inside, water bottle, phone, folded map. The phone was still on. No signal. But the screen was open to a voice recording app. There was a file. Timestamp 2 days ahead. I shouldn't have pressed play. But I did. At first, just breathing. Then footsteps. Then a man's voice. Okay, I think I'm still on the trail. Pause. No, that's not right. I just passed this tree. Long silence. Then, why is the marker pointing backward? Another pause. And then the voice changed slightly, and not in pitch, in confidence. It's okay, you just have to follow it anyway. I stopped the recording. My thumb didn't want to move fast enough. The forest around me felt closer now. Like it had leaned in. I kept going. Because that's what you do. You follow the trail. Except the trail wasn't behaving like one anymore. Sometimes it forked where it shouldn't. Sometimes it looped back in impossible ways. Sometimes, I swear, it duplicated. 2 identical paths side by side. Both marked line 6. Both leading deeper. I chose one. I'm not sure it mattered. By evening, I reached a ranger checkpoint, or what used to be one. The cabin was intact, but wrong. Windows fogged from the inside. The door slightly open. Inside, everything was still running. Radio humming. Lights on. Coffee still warm in a mug on the desk. But no ranger. Just a notebook. Open. Same handwriting across every page. Mine. That's when I stopped breathing properly. Because I had never been here before. The notebook entries began normal. Then got confused. Then desperate. Do not follow line 6 after sunset. It learns the pattern of searches. It rewrites the map when you look away. Then the last page. If you are reading this, you did not leave when you were supposed to. That was the first time I felt real fear. Not adrenaline. Not caution. Something deeper. Recognition. Like I had read that line before. Somewhere I couldn't remember. Night fell fast in Whisperwood. Too fast. The forest didn't dim gradually like normal. It switched off. One moment light. Next moment darkness like ink poured over everything. And in that darkness, I heard movement. Not footsteps. More like repositioning. Something large shifting between trees. But never breaking branches. Never making impact. Just changing places. My radio crackled. I hadn't turned it on. But it was on. A voice came through. Calm. Familiar. My own voice. Frank, stop walking. I froze. The radio continued. You're closer than you think. You always are. I whispered, who is this? Static. You asked that already.
Something in the forest laughed. Not loudly. Just enough. I ran. Not strategically. Not carefully. Just ran. But the trees didn't blur. They stayed sharp. Watching. And the trail was still there. Perfectly lit. Waiting. Like it had always been ahead of me, no matter where I turned. And then I saw it. The marker. Line 6. Except now it had fresh paint. Still wet. Like it had just been redone for me. I found him on the 7th loop. The missing hiker. Or what was left of him. Sitting against a tree. Alive. But not responding correctly. He looked up when I approached. Smiled. And said, you're late. I asked him his name. He hesitated too long. Then said, Frank. I stepped back immediately. He frowned like I'd done something rude. No, I said. That's me. He nodded slowly. I know. That's when I understood. The forest wasn't hiding people. It was replacing them. Not killing. Not taking. Rewriting. Every time someone got lost, the forest didn't consume them. It adjusted reality to make them fit somewhere else. And the deeper you went, the more versions of you it created. The hiker stood up, walked past me, and said softly, you should follow yourself out. I tried to leave. I really did. But every direction was line 6 now. Every path, every turn. Even the sky felt directional, like it had an arrow hidden in it. And my thoughts weren't staying fully mine anymore. Small gaps, missing seconds, moments I couldn't account for. And in those gaps, something else was thinking for me. I reached the final clearing at what felt like midnight. There was a structure there, a ranger station, my ranger station. Same desk, same mug, same open notebook. Except this time, I was already sitting inside, writing, waiting, looking up at myself as I entered, and smiling. The version of me inside the station spoke first. You're almost synchronized. I asked what that meant. He tapped the notebook. All search patterns converge eventually. You just needed to stop resisting. I backed away slowly, but the forest behind me was gone. No trees, no trail, just the station expanding outward in every direction, becoming the entire world. The last thing I remember clearly is the radio turning itself on again, and a voice, mine again, saying, Whisperwood Line 6 is closed now. A
pause, then softer. New search at inbound. And that is where the recording ends. If you made it this far, you already know something feels off about Whisperwood. And maybe, just maybe, you've started noticing patterns that weren't there before. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more horror narrations like this. And tell me in the comments, if you were in the forest and you saw your own name written on the map ahead of you, would you keep walking? Or would you finally stop? Until next time, stay out of the woods when they start remembering you.